What is going on, guys? Newton here with MMOplay, bringing you guys a top 5 list of my best or favorite action RPGs. Kicking off this list is the Van Helsing series. Now, this is a series, and this game can be bought as a whole, and it was split into 3 trilogies, into 3 different games, and you can buy each one separately if you choose to, or you can buy them all together as a whole, and play the story continuously. Now, this is a action RPG that I've enjoyed putting quite a bit of time into. It has all the fun of fighting those large hordes of monsters with the action RPG combat, as well as a very in-depth skill tree, other game modes, and a really nice and enriched story. Along with a great soundtrack and awesome visuals, this is one action RPG that you definitely are going to want to spend your time with, as opposed to rushing through, fighting to max level, and just taking out hordes upon hordes of monsters, because it has a really deep and rich story, and tons of little secrets to discover as well. It's really one of those games that you're probably going to want to spend a lot of time in, and just enjoy the craftsmanship that has been put into this game, because it really is one game that is worth taking your time in discovering what's around you, and just take note of all the little details and work that has been put into this game. Alright, next on our list is Torchlight 2. This game has been around for quite a while, but don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic action RPG. Now, the reason this is not placed a little bit higher on this list, and I know a lot of people really enjoyed this game, is because it lacks a little bit of a story. And I know a lot of people really enjoy these games for, you know, immersion in story and other stuff like that, but don't get me wrong, for where the story lacks in this game, the game makes up for in tons and tons of content. It gives you the classic combat style of action RPGs, fighting hordes of monsters and bosses, making it a lot of fun. The combat's very smooth and plays out very well. With lots of different classes and class customization, this game is never really boring, and it's always interesting. You can roll the same class over and over, build it a little bit differently each time, and feel like you have a completely new experience. But not only that, what makes this game so wonderful is the huge support for modding. You can download tons and tons of different mods for new classes, new game modes, different maps, characters, items, pets, you name it, it's there. This game is far from lacking in content and offers a ton of replayability just through the mod support alone. If you beat the game without any mods and just play the game through for how it is, it still offers a ton of content. But if you want to take it up a step further, download a few mods through the easy support of the Steam Workshop, and you basically have an endless amount of fun and content for this game that you never even thought was available. People create classes from other games, and it really makes the game very interesting, a lot of fun, and always something new around the corner or ready to be installed into your game. Third on my list is Drakensang. Now, if you guys have never heard this game before, it's because it's not as popular as the other titles, but it is an action RPG that I've enjoyed quite a bit and has offered me quite a bit of entertainment. Now, this game hasn't been as long as some of the other games, but it has been out for a little while and did start off as a browser-based MMORPG, or action RPG I should say. And over the years, this game, it started off as a little bit of a pay-to-progress or a pay-to-win game, but with recent updates and progression throughout the years, the game has really shaped up to be really nice for free-to-play players, and reliant less on investing so much money into progressing further into the game. The game has some nice classes and skill building options to make it very fun for customizing and making your class unique compared to others. But what I did enjoy about this game is the option for questing, player-driven towns, or I shouldn't say player-driven towns, it's player-active towns. You see other players crafting items, selling items, and just exploring the world around you. You're not feeling so lonely and alone, and definitely has much more of a social aspect to the game right off the bat, as well as a lot of PvP-based combat and focused endgame, and just recently they've added a ton of new dungeons and raids to the game as well to run with other players. So from starting out to be a browser-based game with the amount of content and patch fixes that they've done to this game, is really shaped up to be quite a nice simple action RPG that can really be played at any time. Like I said, it started off as a browser-based RPG. You can now download it through a client, but it still offers a ton of fun and replayable content. With other classes to pick through and tons of class customization and building, there's really a lot to do with this game and a lot of replayability and fun that could be invested into it, as well as a cash shop to offer you some cool mounts and some other things as well, which is a little bit of a drawback, but overall it's a really nice action RPG and definitely worth checking out and seeing how far it's come since it's started. Second on my list is Diablo 3. A lot can be said about this game. It didn't always shape up to be a great action RPG, but until the recent expansion that dropped a few years ago, it's really become quite a fantastic game. With competitive seasons, tons and tons of items to collect to make your character unique, with lots of classes and different builds to make each class unique and be able to be played differently each time, it's really quite a nice action RPG. Now what puts it second on this list is it does have a price tag. It's not free to play just like some of the other games on this list, but this game offers a ton of content with constant patches and updates along with competitive seasons to run and compete with others or just play with friends. It really is worth the money that it costs. It's one of those games that seems to be bringing me back time and time after again for every new season, every new patch that they include in the game, as long as constantly new items being added and lots of different ways to build and play your characters, making the game consistently interesting and never really dull and boring. And not to mention it has tons and tons of monsters for you to grind away and just completely obliterate once you really get a character going and make it strong. It really is satisfying and is one action RPG that's not worth looking over. If you guys are considering putting money into an action RPG but aren't too sure about this one, it's definitely worth checking out and considering, seeing as though it's come a long way since its initial release. Alright guys, and kicking off the top of our list is Path of Exile. This is a great action RPG, and what sets this so far ahead of every other action RPG I've ever played is it's free to play, but not only does that make it great, is the in-depth class building system, which makes you really build any class unique in any way you really want. If you want to play a warrior that casts spells, you want to play a mage that uses heavy armor and beats things with a hammer, you're completely available to do that. With a super in-depth skill and class tree, you can really make each class unique and feel completely different and play a class that's different from everyone else. If you find some skills in a build that's fun to you and you're able to kill enemies with it, you enjoy it, you can run with it throughout the whole game. There's no metas for this game. I mean, there are some and a few that'll be a little bit better, but if you find a build that's fun and you enjoy it and it works, by all means go for it. That really makes the long-lasting appeal to this game really, really nice. And like I said, if you can find so many different skills in this game and build each class unique to your own, once you build one class, you find some new skills and you come up with a new build yourself, go ahead, roll a new character, test it out, see if it works really well. If you find something that works, I mean, you can have tons of different characters with many different builds just to try around, play, and have fun with this game. This game really does, like I said, have a super long-lasting appeal, and it sets itself pretty far different from every action MMORPG because there's just so much content. Not only that, it's accompanied by a really nice cash shop, but that does not make it pay to win, but it does offer some really cool skill effects. You can change the graphics and basically colors of other skills along with some cool weapon and armor skins, which is a really nice accompaniment to a free-to-play game. But other than that, guys, that's my top 5 action RPGs. By no means are these the best 5, but these are my personal opinions. And if you guys have an action RPG that you enjoy that wasn't mentioned on this list, go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. But if you guys have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. But until next time, guys, I will talk to you later.